So this finally came in. I've been wanting to do some air dry clay projects for so long, so I'm gonna get started on this right away. So today I'm gonna make some really pretty candle holders to decorate my dining room table. But before I actually shape the candles, I'm gonna mix some clay and water together to make something called a slurry. So I think I used about half water, half clay for the ratio, but you can make it as thick or as thin as you want, depending on if you have to fill bigger dips and cracks or if you're just smoothing out the surface of your clay. So you'll see I'm going to use this a little bit later. So for my first candle holder, I'm going to start off with something really simple. I'm just going to take my clay and roll it into a little ball. And then I'm going to flatten out the bottom so that it can stand up properly on a table. And then using my finger, I'm going to create a little groove for the candlestick. So I'm just trying out here to see if the candle actually fits and just fixing that up a little bit with my fingers. And I keep smoothing out the edges and reshaping it with my hands until it has the shape that I want. Then I'm going to take my slurry and smooth out the top and the sides so that it has a nice smooth, almost like it's not a glossy finish, but like a really smooth matte finish. And that's one candle holder already done. So it's really simple, but super cute. Okay, time to get a little bit more adventurous. I want to make the more traditional candle holder shape now. So I'm just rolling the clay into a sort of cylinder shape, or as close as to a cylinder as I can possibly get. And then I'm going to create a little divot by pushing down about 3/4 of the way up the cylinder while still rolling the clay. So it kind of looks a little bit like a bowling pin right now, but don't worry, that's going to get all fixed up very soon. So pushing down on the top with my finger, I'm creating a space for the candle to go into. And I just use different things from around the house. I tried using a wooden bead, but that didn't really work out, so I ended up using my fingers. And that worked best. So I just keep smoothing this out until I'm happy with the shape. It does take some patience, but it ends up looking really good if you take your time. And once I'm happy with the shape, I'm going to take that slurry and smooth out the surfaces again to give it that nice clean finish. And I want the actual sides of the candle holder to be really smooth, so I'm just rolling those onto the table as well, and it really smooths out those edges. It can definitely get messy, but so worth it. Look how cute this came out. I made 2 of these so that I have a nice little set, and honestly the hardest thing was trying to get them to look exactly the same or to be exactly the same size, but I think it actually came out pretty good. So for the last piece that I'm making today, I wanted a bit more of like a sculpture-y candle holder, so I got out some Pinterest inspo. And this time I'm going to take a lot more clay and roll it out into a longer rope that's about a medium thickness. Again, this takes a little bit of time, but once I'm happy with this rope, I'm going to shape it into my sculpture. So the sculpture actually looks a little bit more like a pretzel, so I'm just kind of looping it on itself over here. And this part that's sticking out, that's going to be where the candle is going in. So I want to make sure that that's nice and straight. I'm going to cut off the end over here to straighten out that edge. Don't worry if your clay forms some cracks. That's what the slurry is for, and I'm going to fill in all those cracks once I get the shape just right. So this does take some patience, but I just played around with it until the shape was right, and I kept adding slurry until all the cracks were filled in. And since these cracks were a little bit deeper, I used a bit of a thicker slurry so that it really filled everything in really nicely. And I also tried to get all the little crevices so that there would be no cracks no matter what angle you looked at this sculpture candle holder from. So shaping these candlesticks with some good music was so relaxing. If you ever need to de-stress, just make like a clay mug or something. This was like really therapeutic. And then just using a popsicle stick, I'm creating that groove for the candlestick. And this worked really well, by the way. So I would recommend doing this for all of your candle holders. I'm just using popsicle sticks to pick up the piece and turn it around so I can get all of the edges. And the reason why I'm using popsicle sticks is because I don't want to accidentally create a groove with my fingers or put too much pressure, and I don't want to leave any fingerprints. So I found that popsicle sticks to pick up the piece worked best. And once I was happy with it, I just put these aside and let them dry, and they came out so freaking cute. I absolutely love this one. I actually love the way all of them turn out. They look really good either on their own or all together in a set, and I seriously can't believe I made all of these. I was going to paint them, but I decided I really like the clean white look, so I'm going to leave them like this for now. Maybe another time I'll paint them, but I like the way they look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can see more of my DIY content.